Hey, it's Les here with Comfortable Shoes Studio, and this is a vlog for the art journaling and art making channel. And I just wanted to shoot a vlog because I haven't done it in a while. And I'm out here, I'm at this bay where the river comes into my town, and I'm shooting on the NoPro, aka Wolfang GA200, finally with an external microphone, which I finally got to work, so that's awesome. I'm looking at getting an extender for it. It is a very inexpensive looking microphone, and you probably got a little bit of noise there as I adjust my scarf. I am using a scarf to kind of block out a little bit more of the wind. It's a little breezy here. It's not too bad. But getting to the point, I thought I would talk about my notebook habit. So this is something that I brought up that I got a few episodes back, that I'm getting back into carrying a pocket notebook. And the way that I carry a pocket notebook is in a case like this, or in a Nocco Fodder Stack XL. I used to have a Nocco by One Star leather case that I kept it in, but I lost it. I'm pretty sure it got stolen. So anyway, I'm just here at the beach, and I thought I'd talk about pocket notebooks. So my pocket notebook habit is that I keep a pocket notebook in a case in my pocket almost at all times. Like I go to work, it's in my pocket. I'm at home, it's in my pocket. I go to bed, this is sitting on my bedside table. And the reasoning for it is that I'm capturing all of my ideas for everything. So just as an example, this is a cut down Pencil Revolution Press little notebook, and I write on the covers. The covers are not sacred to me. I write on the covers. I slap interesting stickers on the covers, and yeah, so that's kind of like the idea behind the covers. They're there as a additional sheet of paper for me. So during my videos, if you see me looking down, I'm usually looking at my pocket notebook, which I've got spread open with notes for the episode. And I don't fully script my vlogs or my art journaling episodes. Instead, I give myself a little bit of an outline about talking points, the beats that I want to hit. And that allows me to kind of talk a little more freely, but also make sure that I'm hitting all of the important bits and beats. So for my pocket notebooks, I used to be much more rigid about how I set them up, but the first page here is my name, address, email address, the start date, and then a reward if found. And then when I finish the notebook, I write in the end date. And that just gives me an idea of how quickly I'm filling in notebooks. And I do tend to fill them in pretty quickly, especially when I'm doing a lot of creative stuff. And then the first page used to be an index. That was always how it was, but I have found that I have not been indexing the pages like I used to. The last page is always a pen and pencil testing page, so that I can see if my pens and pencils are going to be good on the paper. As you can see, Johnny has picked fantastic paper for these little notebooks. And they work great. Oftentimes on the back page here, I usually have 3 or 4 post-it notes and some tabs stuck in there, just so that, if I need to write a quick note, I can pull out a post-it note and hand it off to someone. And then the tabs are things that when I'm working on things, I'll pop a tab in here. Right now I've got them covering up my address because I hadn't done that. And then in the back of the notebooks, I don't want to show you everything in this because I got some wacky ideas in here. So I have ideas for videos, and then I think I just popped that weird idea, my weird idea video page. Sometimes this is also blog post ideas that I put in here. My larger notebook, I really map that out much more clearly and use a lot more detail. And then in here, where I work from the front to the back, I will, like in the case of this has the beats for this vlog. So that's kind of like the rundown of how these work. I also, let's see, will take notes on the things that I'm reading. So I just got done reading Building a Second Brain. I can't remember the guy's first name, but his last name is Forte. And just some ideas that came from that. Ideas for the Less is More Healthy video series. Also some stuff that I'm planning for the Comfortable Shoes Studio art journaling. You know, I want to call it a page, but it's not a page channel. I've been blogging for so long that I want to call everything by the blog ideas or blog terminology, not the vlog terminology. So all those little ideas get noted down here. Every little idea I have gets popped in here. Announcements and things like that. And I've been working on the channels a lot. So that's what's in my pocket notebooks right now. But oftentimes I'm also writing down little to-do lists, like order toilet paper, pick up milk and eggs on the way home, things like that also go into the notebooks. The notebooks are a tool for me to write ideas down. I will also draw and doodle in them. I'll sketch out ideas for things. All of that goes into the pocket notebook. And there have always been a really important tool for me. So going back to my Beats page for this particular episode, I'll edit some of this out. I started using the pocket notebooks back in not my last two jobs, but one of my first serious professional jobs. They gave us the little Mead spiral bound 3x5 notebooks to have, like, if a customer asked you for something, you wrote it down, you ran out to the back room to look for it. If you needed to leave a note for your boss, you tear out the page, tack it on this corkboard. And it was just sort of like a thing that everyone did. So that was the, like, sort of start of it. And, you know, even when I was a kid, my parents were buying us little 3x5 notebooks because they're really inexpensive, and it gave us a spot to kind of play around with things. We were drawing, sketching, writing like little kid notes on things. So we always had 3x5 notebooks in our lives. And then, you know, when I got a more desk-oriented job, I used a running to-do list on a legal pad. And I had these little one sheet folded notebooks that I would use that I could stuff into my pocket. I'd use like just any paper that came into the office. I'd cut those up, I'd fold them and cut them. And that's what I would use for my to-do list when I was running around the store. And then also the office. And, you know, I did try for a while to use a Palm Pilot, and I've tried to use Notes and Google Keep and Evernote and OneNote. I've tried all of those things, but I really find this setup frictionless because I've been doing it for so long. I kind of got out of it during COVID. I didn't need a pocket notebook during COVID because I was always at home. You know, like, I wasn't running around a building. I wasn't running, I was running groups, but I was doing it online and from home. So it wasn't necessary for me to have a pocket notebook. I didn't feel like I did. So, like, I just didn't find myself reaching for things, but also I wasn't reading much, especially during the first lockdown, the first year, in 2020. My pocket notebooks just kind of sat on my desk and didn't get a lot of use. So now I'm finding myself feeling way more creative. I'm doing a lot more creative things. I'm reading a lot. And some of this stuff, like when I'm planning these out, sure, this could go into my large journal. I've got, you know, a handful of journals, like I'm sure many of you do, going all at once. But some of the stuff, like I like having it in the pocket notebook because I can always have it with me. And that's a thing with a pocket notebook that I find so helpful, is that it's always with me. Unlike a larger 6x9 or A4 or other sized notebook, these pocket notebooks, I can always have them on my person. I'm not worried about like, oh, I got to go grab my sketchbook off my table, or, I'm going to be weighed down by my moleskin notebook. I'm grabbing these, I'm stuffing them in the pocket, and it's wallet sized. And some of these little, covers that you can get include card slots. So you can actually use it like a wallet, and then you can actually, if you carry cash, you can pop it into the little flap. And then I actually have one from Galen Leather that has the slots for credit cards and then a flap for keeping cash. So it really becomes a whole wallet. I don't use that one very often, specifically because I'm using this at work a lot, and even though the card slots are really tight, I don't want to be whipping out my credit cards at work taking notes. It just feels weird when, depending on the kids, that I'd be like making notes in my notebook when I got kids around. So that's kind of like the nitty gritty, and the real thought behind the pocket notebook is that it's always there. Now, I'm not typically journaling into this. I do some journaling exercises where I use a pocket notebook and just fill it up real fast. It's sort of like a mind dump type thing. I do often use pocket notebooks for mind dumps, particularly when work is stressful. And that way I can not have mind dumps where I'm thinking about a lot of stressful things in with the rest of my stuff. And that's something that I find particularly helpful, and I know a lot of other people do as well, like separating out the difficult things from the working creative ideas. And I think more about my notebook habit and the things that are important about it. When I get to a point where the notebook is about half full, I will then slot a second notebook. So this case right now has two notebooks in it, the one from Johnny and then one that I made. And the thing with this particular case is that it's not quite 3.5 by, the case itself is 3.5 by 11, 3.5 by 11, 3.5 by 5.5, roundabouts, 3.5 by, is it 5.25, something like that. But it does not fit a regular pocket notebook sized notebook. It fits and I've got these measurements in millimeters, 87 by 125 millimeters, which is about 3 by 5 inches. And I like that size, but I've been feeling pretty cramped by it. So, and also cutting down all of my pocket notebooks to fit the size of this, has been annoying. So I'm going to switch over to using a regular pocket notebook size. I've got too many covers, so I'm gonna just grab one of my other covers and start using that once I finish these two pocket notebooks. The other thing that I have in here, you'll notice a binder clip. I've got some 3x5 cards stuffed in there, and that's great for like doing a grocery list, or if I've got to hand something off to a friend or coworker, I can write it on there and hand it off. So yeah, so that's the pocket notebook philosophy, is like the idea is like always having it on hand and being able to take quick notes. As I'm reading, as I'm working, at the minute an idea pops into my head, I can pull this out and write a note in it. And I used to feel really self-conscious about the idea of pulling out this pocket notebook and recording things in public or whatnot. But I've realized most people don't care. If they do care, I don't care. Also, most people aren't judging or thinking about what I'm doing. They're thinking about what they're doing, because most people have their head firmly wedged in their butt. So I decided to stop giving a crap if people cared whether or not I was using a pocket notebook. So anyway, I hope that's helpful. It was 15 minutes long. So thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And I really appreciate all of you who are, hitting that likes and subscribes, and especially the comments. I really, really love comments on the channel. It's nice to have interaction the way we used to on blogs and things. Like, that conversation is the best to me. So anyway, thanks, and I'll make it awkward. And if you're interested in supporting me or you like what I do, follow the link in the description over to my Ko-fi channel. I'll try and put one up here, a link to it up here I'm not as good at this as I could be, but I'm going to try and put a link up here to my Ko-fi. And if you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee, awesome. I will drink it. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.